All right, we have a big week ahead for the markets, including crypto. So let's take a look at what's going on. We had a nice little bounce at the open this morning. Dow is up about a half a point, S&P up 0.74, NASDAQ up 1.39 as I'm recording this at 12:20 Eastern Standard Time. So what is going on? Why are the markets bouncing right now? A couple of things are earnings. So right now, the banks came out somewhat okay. Goldman Sachs reported positive earnings this morning. Shares popped 3%. But despite growing recession fears, the S&P companies are expected to post 4.2% year-over-year increases in the second quarter profit, according to consensus analyst estimates gathered by FactSet. Profit expectations for the full year are still high, with S&P companies estimated to post 9.9% earnings increase for 2022. So it'll be interesting to see how this all stacks up. If earnings come out as expected or better, the market should hold up. If they disappoint, then we will see some downside. Now, the other thing is less aggressive Fed. So some of the expectations out are that the Fed is definitely going to lift the rates by 75 basis points, but not 100. That's the consensus right now. So stocks get a boost as investors wagered that the Fed will be less aggressive than feared at its meeting later this month. Wall Street Journal reports Sunday. Remember last time the leak to the Journal was that the Fed was going to jump 75 instead of 50. This time the Wall Street Journal is reporting that the bank is on track to lift interest rates by 75 basis points instead of the full percentage point increase forecasted by some market participants. Goldman Sachs chief economist Jan Hatzius also said in an overnight note that he expected the Fed to raise by 75 basis points. Still, recession fears have been prominent in recent weeks as Wall Street considered decades high inflation, sharply rising interest rates, and an inverted yield curve. Markets are likely to remain volatile in the coming months and trade based on hopes and fears about economic growth and inflation. So it's all about headline risk right now and what the Fed will do. We still have a full week and a half, all of this week and first few days of next week before the Fed makes their move. So let's take a look at Bitcoin and what's been going on in Bitcoin and crypto. This is Bitcoin on the daily, and nice little pop today where Bitcoin revisited this range we were looking at earlier in the month after this initial drop, where I had said that, you could see Bitcoin get back up to the $23,000 range, retracing this whole move and, before the next leg down. And that's kind of what it's done all the way through. Every time Bitcoin drops, it retraces the move. Even going back to that initial drop back in December, Bitcoin retraced that entire move that it dropped and then went to the next leg down. This was the Do Kwon kind of interfering with normal consolidation. But again, a big pop before the drop, retraced this entire last move at this last consolidation before the drop. So the real question is that what's going to happen this time? Is Bitcoin just retracing, setting up for the next leg down? Ethereum has had a nice little recovery as well in this range. So have some of the major altcoins. So a lot of action in the markets right now. This is Matic jumping on, a lot of different news for the Matic network. But again, this is the same thing we've seen over and over. So the real question is this a bottom being put in, or is this just another consolidation before the next leg down as the market continues to unwind and work its way towards previous major market structural support levels? So we'll just have to wait and find out. Basically, the expectation is it's just consolidating and liquidating shorts ahead of the next move down, ahead of the Fed. Again, we have all week this week. A lot of times the Monday move can be the false move. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens and see if Bitcoin can get anywhere above the 200-week moving average. So far, that's right where it's rejecting, is right on that 200-week moving average. It continues to close below it. So we'll just have to wait to see what that looks like and if price can get above it. Here's Bitcoin on the hourly. You can see these, pops up here, liquidating shorts on the way up, little consolidation, another last liquidation before it could unwind this whole move, looking at it on the hourly. So right now, we'll just have to wait and see, is the bottom being put in the markets? Is the bottom being put in Bitcoin? Let's take a look at, here's the Dow. It's had a nice little bounce the last few days. NASDAQ, S&P, everything kind of working in the range, doing the same thing, waiting on the Fed's next move. The dollar has retreated a little bit here today. and oil is on its way back up again above $100. Will it get back to 120? We'll have to see. A lot of analysts are predicting that it's possible, but two schools of thought here are that Bitcoin is putting in the bottom here, markets are putting in the bottom, and maybe kind of consolidates here for a while, dips a little bit, pops a little bit, but this could be the major macro bottom being put in after the major, just like after 2017, 2018. But potentially with the Fed making their moves, recession has not been factored in yet. I think that there could potentially be another leg down, definitely testing this lower 17.5 range and potentially going back to test these previous major market structural levels of 16.5 down to 12, 13.5 in that range there. So we'll just have to wait and see how it plays out. It could go either way. I'm not looking for a real big bounce back up to these levels at all right now. There's no catalyst for that at the moment with a lot of the things that are still unwinding out there with Celsius, Three Arrows Capital, things like that. And with the Fed making its move next week and what needs to result from that, we could definitely expect another leg down. But it could be putting in a base here for a short-term, level until we get more earnings reports, we get more understanding of what the Fed's going to do and actually the Fed's actual move. So a lot of uncertainty out there right now. All we can do is just wait and see what happens. So these are the things that I am looking at right now, and I will see you on the next video.